Mark,
Klaus.
preparing a compelling presentation could be quite a daunting job. And I was wondering if you have a tip for us.
Well, I do. A compelling presentation, what does that have to contain? It needs to contain elements of a conversation with the audience.
A conversation with the audience? And how do you generate that?
Well, a good conversation with the audience means that the audience needs to feel its questions are being answered.
All right. And when we prepare presentations and we have answers and questions, how do you identify them?
Well, a tip I have is when preparing a presentation, have a conversation with a good colleague or somebody who's going to be in the audience and talk about your subject with them.
Why?
Because when you're having that conversation, your colleague or the potential audience member will ask you questions about your subject, and you need to note those questions down.
All right. And how do you then integrate that into your presentation?
Well, then I use these questions, I use them as headlines on slides, I can use them as a way to structure my presentation, I can simply ask them as rhetorical questions during the presentation.
So your tip in a nutshell, what would that be?
When preparing a presentation, talk about your subject with a good colleague, somebody in the audience, note those questions that they ask you and use the questions in your presentation.